Hey, and welcome to the first episode of the Indie Game Journal. My name's Adam, and this is a demonstration slash documentation of what it's like to make your first independent video game. Now, disclaimer, I say my first because it is my first, and I don't have 3 to 6 years of studio slash professional experience. Partly the reason why I'm making an independent game is because I really don't have a hope in hell of getting that kind of experience anytime soon. So this is just my way of doing what I do by myself. So I guess I'll start with the beginning. When I was like 2.5 years old, my sister got an SNES for her 9th birthday, and though she had school, I didn't, so I got plenty of time to play with it. And since then I've been hooked. When I was in high school, I was really interested in concept art, and well, I've always been interested in art, but I really wanted to do, after watching the cutscenes from Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy X, I was pretty much, that's all I wanted to do. That said, it's a very, very saturated industry, concept art, and I learned very quickly that it would be almost impossible for me to get a job in that field. So I decided that maybe I should do other things. For a while I was deciding on doing like architecture, and luckily that didn't go through because I probably would have hated that based on what I know now. However, when they asked us to pick subjects in high school that would lead us into what we wanted to do in our careers, I just picked the things that I thought would get me into game development. Luckily they paid off, and the stuff I did in my free time also paid off. That is, also obviously like doing Photoshop concept art with a Wacom tablet. I highly recommend getting like a Bamboo for you guys who are into that. Doing Flash animation, making machinima. I did a little bit of 3D animation, writing if you can for said machinima. All of that stuff really helps out. And then through university, I did a design slash computer science degree, so I have the ability now to do programming and at least approach things from a design perspective, which I think is really important for various reasons. Now you might be asking, what is the difference between an independent game and a real game? Well, you might not be asking that, but since I just said stuff about design, this is a nice segue for me to jump into. So in things like music and the film industry, indie means having creative freedom regardless of an inevitable financial loss, I guess. And basically that means that the people who make music and make films who are independent have artistically more creative work. That's the theory. Now, in independent games, luckily, because we have the internet and digital distribution, we don't need to suffer the same fate as the independent film and music makers, although we do wear the same glasses, apparently. But instead, we can reach out to millions of people and still have our own creative freedom, or at least their own creative freedom, because I haven't made one yet, so I can't really say we. Regardless, in games, that creative freedom comes down to design. And you'll find a lot of games that are independent have a very, very design-centric feel to them. There'll be one mechanic or one system that is the game. For example, Minecraft is about mining and crafting, and that's the core of the game. Braid is about time control. Super Meat Boy is about tight platforming, and Fez is about rotating the world to solve puzzles. Those are all really, really, really good examples of indie games in this decade, and actually they have their own documentaries based on them. So if you're interested in those, I would go watch them, because Mojang, the story of Minecraft, which is the Minecraft one, is really good, and that just came out. And Indie Game the Movie is what this series was named after. So basically, go watch those. Now, I did say earlier on that I was making my own game, and I guess I'll go into a little detail about what that is now. So I'm making a side-scroller. It is inspired by old 90s / early 2000 mascots, basically anthropomorphic animals, although there is only one in this game that is the main character. I have experience in generative design, so I'm going to be making a generative terrain side-scroller with an anthropomorphic fox for Android. More on that next episode.